You guys wanted a full day of eating, so here it is. I'm absolutely starving. I've been waiting for my cameraman to get here so I can actually cook some food. Let's go. This is the breakfast I've been having for a very long time. Highly recommend it to get your day started. We've got 6 eggs. I'm gonna take out 3 yolks and have 6 whites. 3 yolks. That is because I'm having an avocado which contains a lot of fat. People are gonna say, why don't you just buy egg whites? Well, I told you I want 3 yolks, bro. Just the basic seasonings, you know, we got that one that I always talk about. I spoke about it in my other video, roasted garlic black pepper. That is for the avocado. It makes it insane. Just normal salt, or pink Himalayan salt. I don't really care what kind of salt it is. I'm not one of those freaks for that type of stuff. And black pepper, Bosch, simple, effective. I mean, I've been eating pretty much the same food in the same order for almost 16 years. Well, that's a lie, probably around 14, 13, because obviously it took me 2 or 3 years to figure this out. I've just been dead consistent with this. I'm a freak for the diet. You know, some people, when they're counting their macros, they're like, oh, does this fit in my macros? Does this fit in my macros? You know, trying to fit bad food within their diet to fit their macros. I've never done that. I've always been more about the healthy food and I'll have a cheat meal. Obviously, counting macros is good. It's never something I've really done, kind of more at the beginning, but when I've been eating the same food consistently for so long, I know what my body can take. Obviously, whenever I'm cutting to whenever I'm bulking, the food stays the same. The only thing that will change is the amounts. So it's very basic, very simple. That's why I don't really like macros, because people think they can just fit bad food, and that's not the goal. The goal is to create a healthy lifestyle with consistency. If you're gonna fit in bad food all the time, your body's gonna be craving that. You're gonna be wanting that all the time. The healthier you eat for longer, the less likely you're then gonna crave it. So it's just creating an all-around better, healthier physique. That was a bad idea. Whoa, man, while I'm cooking this, my stomach is screaming at me. Goodness, my stomach. Oh, does anybody else get that? Like, it just makes me feel sick. Gosh, I'm getting a hot sweat. Goodness me, give me my eggs, bro. Mate, I'm getting a sweat on here. This is a joke, bro. That's what happens if I don't eat. Gosh, what's wrong with me? The life of a hard gainer. My body is literally dying to just be skinny, man. 7. Can you do it all? How 4? Trying to bulk up my son with extra milk. It's bulk life, baby. He's already absolutely huge. He's only 4.5 months and he's fitting in like 6 to 9 months clothes. Look. I'm obviously not trying to bulk up my son. I just can't judge his milk. He's eating this much, that much, this much, that much. Yes, I'm one of those people that washes while they cook because I can't be bothered to eat and then clean. I prefer just to eat and it be done. This is an avocado. It tastes horrific unless you have seasoning on it. So I just cut this bad boy down the middle. And we just chop, 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 chop. Straight into the blaboli. Touch of salt, touch of pepper. Well, a lot of pepper really, because you gotta drown out that taste of that avocado. Forearm burn. Oh, I can train for 1.5 hours. I can't even twist a freaking pepper lid for 2 seconds. And here we have meal number 1. 7 a.m. ready to go. I've got one more meal before I go and train, and this is how I do it every single day. Oh, and he's back in the kitchen again, cooking up that pre-arms workout meal. This is the meal that I would have before my gym session every single day. So we got some diced onions. We got 500 grams of minced beef. We got the higher fat content just for flavor, and it's just a healthier version. Animal fat is good for you, baby. And then we've got mixed frozen vegetables. Because I'm slack and lazy, it's obviously better to boil your rice in bulk, but I'm just gonna use this microwavable rice. This is one of my most common favorite meals, which is highly effective to getting results, and it's just so easy to prep, whether that's a meal to have like right now, or just to prep in bulk. If I'm on the go, then I'll just literally whack in double the content. I'll put 4 of those in there, or I'll cook 500 grams of chicken, 500 grams of beef with the rice and then the vegetables, and I'll just put it in containers and be on the go. I'm not really down with cooking them days and days in advance because the food is already basic. It doesn't taste that great anyways. So leaving it for days on end is just gonna make it unbearable. So literally the night before or the morning. And that's basically not far off how it's done, just that simple. I've got onions, minced beef, seasoning in there. I'm just boiling up the water there for my frozen vegetables. I could have this as 2 meals, you know, have this pre-workout and then have one post-workout. But I've got a fiance I've got to feed. She'll be having the exact same meal as me, but without the carbs. The advantages of living with a bodybuilder. You get to eat like one. Flavorless food. You've heard it before, all the big guys say it. You know, if you're out for gaining results, you cannot be eating for flavor every single meal. I'm having around 5 or 6 meals, and to try think about going out there and cooking a flavorsome meal every time just isn't realistic. So you got to get your head around that. You know, it's all about consistency to the basics to get consistent results. If you know that this will burn your fingers if you're not careful. That's why I get it straight onto a plate, because I mean, when this comes out compared to this is like 1,000 degrees. It's probably why you shouldn't use microwave rice. So with this rice, I'll be having half of this, which is around 125 to 150 grams. As I said before about the portion sizes, they will change depending on my goals. So if I was bulking, as I am quite a hard gainer, I would probably have 3/4 to almost that whole pack every single meal. Gains, why do I say something like that at the end of every turn, everything? You know, I'll say a verse and I'll be like, boom, or like, gains. What the hell? Just finish a sentence and keep quiet. How do I differentiate the amounts? Well, I do it by eye. As long as mine looks bigger, I'm happy. Oh my. This is my fiance's mom's concoction. What's in it, babe? Turmeric, ginger, garlic, cayenne pepper, all the stuff to make you go, ooh. It's like on the back of your throat, like. And it is time to make those gains ready for a massive arms workout. We've got the carbs as I'm having pre and post workout, vegetables and beef mince, creatine as I walk out the door, and water to stay hydrated. You know the vibes. Consistency rules the game. What a fine, beautiful day it is out for once in England. But the current situation with what I'm trying to gain through progress is just maintenance really right now, as it is coming up to summer. What I do is usually bulk through the winter, cut up to summer, and then maintain that leanness throughout the summer. I didn't bulk this winter, so I've just generally been lean for a very long time. I did do a little mini bulk, but I didn't put on a load of weight, so I will drop a little bit more and do a cut. But right now, my calories are just maintenance. Over my 16 years of training, I've tried different diets, and I've always been one to have carbs in my diet, but not a really high amount. My protein's always extremely high, but my fats I have a lot more of rather than higher carbs. I don't quite go keto where I have 0 carbs, because I have them before and after training, but that's pretty much it. I'll just have more fats throughout the day. This isn't generally gonna work for someone who generally has a high carb diet and then is gonna go straight into my diet. They're gonna suffer and feel the pain of having lower carbs. But because I've basically trained my body to work off this kind of intake of food of higher fats and kind of a lower carb diet, my body reacts really well to it. That's what I love about fitness and eating healthy. It is generally just a learning process. What works for me might not work for someone else. You know, I've tried high carb diets, I've tried low carb diets, and just what works best for me is higher fats, minimal carbs, and extremely high protein. I love it. We're upgrading, we're using the Ninja this time, but it's time for that post-workout shake. Have you guys seen this before? I'm not sure if I've ever made it or shown you. Same as we always have, half water, half milk. The old cup of oats. I'm doing that thing again, like where I have to go boom and pow at the end of every sentence. Nice big old chunky one, because I'm feeling peanut buttery. Just half a banana, because I'm having 2 protein shakes, so I put half in one, half in the other. 1 scoop of whey protein, 2 scoops of whey protein. And yes, that is around 50 grams of protein, and yes, I believe you can digest more than 25 grams at once. And that is that done. Ooh, look at that. Boom. You can't beat it. I mean, when you train your ass off, everything tastes better. As I tidy up again, that is meal number 3. Well, not really meal number 3, kind of meal number 1, meal number 2, and then protein shakes. That could be classed as meal number 3. I would class it as a meal because it has oats, banana, peanut butter, and protein, and it is pretty calorific. What meal number is this then? 1, 2, 3. Meal number 4. is my post-workout meal. I obviously had my post-workout shake, which had carbs in it, but this is my real post-workout meal with carbs. 125 to 150 grams of rice, 250 grams of chicken with a little bit of turkey bacon and onion, mixed vegetables. That's my post-workout meal. There's 500 grams of chicken here because I'm prepping my last meal of the day, which will be a non-carb meal, just the 250 grams of chicken with the vegetables to finish the day strong. Actually, there's another meal after that as well. Yeah, no, I'm still wearing my apron. I'm gonna keep it on. Because I'll probably spill some down myself and I don't want to ruin this white top. I mean, it can get boring eating the same foods over and over again. I do reach points where I'm like, oh God, not another meal like this. But it doesn't last long because I've been doing it so long. It is just routine. It is just what my body expects. And it is just my way of life now. It's not even dieting. This is just the way I eat. You know, it's weird that people say dieting is eating healthy. Shouldn't just eating in general just be healthy? You shouldn't be called dieting when you're eating healthy. It just makes no sense. So I just eat like this all the time. Obviously, I get cravings. It's hard for me to sit here and say, oh, this food's so boring. Whenever I'm gaining solid results consistently, you know what I mean? Obviously, if you're just having this meal once, it's going to be boring if then you're going to go and have bad meals because you're also not going to be getting results. You're not sat there eating that meal knowing you're getting results because you're eating bad food as well. Whenever you're consistently eating good food, gaining results, it's just easier. So it's on to my snack now. And this is a highlight of my day because it's something sweet. It's a bit of a treat. I think I got it right. Gosh, get on with it. Got a protein yogurt mixed with some mixed nuts. We've got almonds, walnuts, cashews, Brazil nuts with a little bit of honey. As I mentioned, I obviously have the lower carbs. There's a bit of carbs in the yogurt, but I increase my fats and that's what I've done with the mixed nuts. Like I mentioned in one of my other videos, people underestimate how much protein you need to grow. One of the biggest mistakes when making gains. So I increase my protein a little bit more by having that protein yogurt. It just tastes so good. Dinner is served. Something I prepared earlier. We've got the 250 grams of chicken, mixed vegetables. I'm gonna get through this meal and around 2 hours later, an hour and a half, depending on when my eyes will be closing in front of the TV, I will have a protein shake, exactly the same one I had earlier in the video, but without the carbs. Like I said, I keep my carbs, so my substantial carbs, pre and post workout. I've never been one to track exact calories and macros, but we did today and it worked out to around 4,000 calories. But guys, I hope you like the full day of eating. Comment, subscribe, you know the vibes.